I first felt something was different I think it was fifth grade, when there was this girl in my class who I really wanted to be like. I wasn't attracted to her, but I just wanted to be like her. And I could remember distinctly like praying to God to like wake up as her for a day or something. And that still lingered throughout middle school and high school, and became more intense throughout middle school and high school. During those years, I tried to mask it with cheerleading. But there was always this like draw towards like femininity and like womanhood. Like when I was shopping, I'd always look more at like women's clothes than men's clothes, and like there was always this thing in the back of my mind that I was always trying to fight. I was really worried about what was going to happen, on if I would lose that family support, if I would lose funding, if I'd lose all these things. The statistics aren't good for like trans people. Like I'm only expected to live until I'm like 30 because of murder rates, and because of like how bad coming out can go. That's kind of like what has inspired me to like keep creating change and making a difference. And I don't think I'd be involved in all the leadership opportunities I am right now and all of that if I was not trans. I think that's what's propelled me to stand up and like start fighting for people. I went Greek for multiple reasons. One reason was like really to prove to myself that I am who I say I am, you know? Like for me, it was just verifying all the like the feelings I had. And for me, you know, going Greek and being accepted into a house, it meant more than any surgery, any name change, any amount of hormones ever would, you know? And it provides a space where you can learn some of the things that you missed out in before life, you know? Because like I never learned in middle school, like I never went to those weird makeup phases, those weird clothing phases. So I could like make up for that time lost, and I'm really grateful for that. But when I initially rushed, I did it in the fall of last year, and since the fall, I went through 5 different rush processes, and it was extremely lengthy, and I had a terrible time. At the time, it meant, you know, 200 women accepting you as that thing you're claiming you are. So I saw it really appealing, and then I was cut from every house but one on the first day of cuts. On leadership days, I shotgunned a Red Bull before going into AKO. I decided to give it one last chance because my friend was going through my current sorority's rush process. So I thought I'd go through it to support her. I didn't go to their first event because I was like, I really don't want to do this. But the next morning I got at this, like within 10 minutes of each other, I had a friend send me a link to a Cosmo article that was blowing up. That was about can trans girls be sorority girls? And it was a very like eye-opening article, and how like so many trans people have tried and so many trans people have failed getting into sorority houses. So I was like, I have the opportunity to try again, I might as well. And then 10 minutes later, I get an email from my current sorority, and they're like, hey, you missed yesterday, but we still would love to see you. So I went, I talked to maybe 2 girls, and then I got a bid. Initially, I was extremely afraid a week after getting extended my bid of invitation, because I thought girls were going to find out and I was going to get kicked out. It seemed like right when I went to my first chapter meeting, it was like all eyes were on me because I was the trans one. And it still feels that way. Like when I walk in the house, I'm like, oh, yep, here comes the trans girl again. As a result, I began doing more Greek activist things. So I created that LGBT Panhellenic support group last term. And that's been an amazing place for LGBT women to come out and talk to me. You know, as long as I can make someone else's life better than like mine is, that's totally worth it for me. And